So I really loved my role as entrepreneur in residence at the College of New Jersey. So I graduated from there back in 2000. And so it was really a pleasure to be able to return to campus in this totally different capacity that I never would have even thought of or heard of when I was graduating, years ago. So it was really a pleasure to come back. And as entrepreneur in residence, exactly what I wanted to do is what I was able to accomplish, which is to meet young founders who were interested in something that they had thought of or developed, and then forming a venture around that. And to your question, like what was the number one piece of advice? I can say this came up in almost every meeting, probably every meeting I held, which is you've done something technically innovative. And for scientists, engineers, a lot of people in the STEM fields, the default can be I have the very specific skills to like engineer this product or to test this molecule in a biological assay. And so, you set up an experiment and you do it. It's exactly what people in the STEM fields are trained to do. But that can also put you down a pathway of, well, now that I know this, I can do more experiments and test this. And then you learn something else. And you can do more experiments and test that. And the only problem with that approach is it starts to pull you away from what I was saying earlier in this meeting, which is you have to identify really early, like if this is going to require venture capital, or if it's going to require someone to pay for this solution at some point, because that's always true for any technology, who's going to pay for that? Why would they pay for it? What do they currently pay? Is it reimbursed? Can it be cost effective? Have you thought through how to manufacture it? And for early stage scientists, they tend to not spend much time on those questions. Like this is what I found in my entire tendency as the entrepreneur in residence. So it was really a question of convincing them and encourage them time and time again. Like, I know that scientifically you're onto something interesting, but you haven't yet convinced yourself or convinced me that this is who pays for this kind of solution. This is what they pay for current products. And so that's why I think I can charge this price. And that's why I think I can sell this many units a year. Right. For them to do that, it's so different, it's such a different skill set than what they're used to that they tend to not do it. They feel they can defer it and wait till they raise a bunch of money, and then future business advisors will answer those questions for them. But that's not really how it works. You have to have the discipline to onboard those skills for yourself as a young founder, and then to have the time and the discipline to say, I'm actually going to pause some of the scientific studies and start getting into this is what payment, reimbursement, and revenue and product sales are going to look like for this thing I'm building, even though it doesn't exist yet. That's the leap. You have to be willing to make those projections, and they have to be educated.